Flu season is upon us and is strong this year. Find out how easy it is to contract the flu coming up.
And now that we're 1 month into the new semester, many people are having their first exams. One organization on campus hopes to provide students with a way to de-stress and promote mental awareness.
We are currently under a winter weather advisory for our area until midnight. I'll come back and show you how that will impact your commute.
We have that and more. This edition of The Shield starts right now.
TV studio in Schnabel Hall on the campus of Valparaiso University. This is The Shield on VUTV.
Thank you for joining us on The Shield. I'm Katie Nickolaou.
And I'm Blake Harms. Valparaiso University announced its new crowdfunding campaign last week. By partnering with student organizations and campus departments, the university hopes to fund several projects on campus. There are currently 3 projects looking for funding, ranging from service trips to storm intercept field equipment to the WAVES project. To donate, simply go to crowdfunding.valpo.edu, fill out the necessary information, and donate. There are 23 days remaining in the campaign, so if you want to donate, be sure to do so before the end of the month.
Well, it seems as though everyone is getting sick this time of year. Since this flu season is so widespread, I wanted to show people how vulnerable we really are to this virus.
Cold and flu season is upon us. We've already seen 136 deaths in Indiana alone this season. And with the cold and snow making its return to campus, I thought I would show you just how easy it is for the flu to spread. When it gets cold out, students tend to cut through buildings in order to get to classes. That means that there's a higher volume of traffic in the mornings and throughout the day. And during these high volume times, it is likely that you'll come across someone who is sick, possibly with the flu. Now, these high volume areas are places where you are most likely to catch the flu. Some of these include Founders as well as the cafe and the Union. But there are ways that you can avoid getting sick. I'm about to show you just what happens, though, if you let down your guard.
Now, one of the easiest places to catch the flu is at a cafeteria, such as Founders or the cafe. Now, for an example, I bought a piece of pizza as well as a donut, a typical college diet if you ask me. And I also have a bag of powdered sugar. Now, this is going to simulate the germs of someone who's passing by your table and would just happen to sneeze or cough in your direction. This is going to show you the spread of germs that can get on your food if they do sneeze around you. So I'm going to take a handful, and now all I have to do is sneeze. Achoo! Achoo! As you can see, it only takes one sneeze to spread thousands of germs onto your food, some of which might contain the flu virus, especially if the person is ill with it. If you do eat this food, you have a very high chance of contracting the flu, which could take you out of classes for days or even a week. You can also see that the table that we have it set on is also covered in our simulated germs. That's why it's also important never to eat food that's dropped on top of a table, especially in Founders. With a lot of students coming in and out, you never quite know how many students have sat there, and chances are someone has sneezed on your space.
Now, there are some actions you can take to help prevent yourself from catching the flu. These are very easy to implement as well in a college routine. One of the ways is to get prepackaged food, which they offer at both Founders and the cafe. This way you know that no one has coughed or sneezed on your food before you got to it. Also, get cook-to-order meals at Founders with the omelet bar or chef's corner. And as always, you should get plenty of sleep and use your hand sanitizer and wash your hands every chance you get. That way you make sure that none of these germs are following you back to your room. For VUTV, I'm Katie Nickolaou.
And if you do happen to fall ill, you can go to the Campus Health Center on University Drive to get checked out.
Last Saturday, the Valparaiso University Ballroom Dance Team danced at all competitive levels in their annual ballroom competition in the Union Ballrooms. Colleges and universities all across the Midwest came to compete in different style dances, from the Mamba to the Swing in the 12-hour-long competition. Most of these dancers had to improvise their routine according to the style and random song that was played by the judges. The competitors were very supportive of each other's dances regardless of the outcomes and awards. Every dancer had a unique style of dance, which allowed them to be creative and express themselves. Valparaiso University's ballroom dance team continues to compete against other Midwest colleges for the opportunity to win first place awards.
In this week's Organization of the Week, we feature Valp Yoga, a student-led group yoga session that promotes physical and mental awareness and wellness. VUTV sat down with the president of Valp Yoga, Jenna Herman, to learn more about her organization.
So my friend Keen and I, we lead yoga lessons for the community, I was living with monks and deities in California the month before I moved to Valpo, and they taught me all of these wonderful meditations, and not only did I want to share them, I wanted to provide a space for the student body for meditation and yoga, so I created this organization that was able to reserve spaces for yoga and meditation. We teach a lot of meditations for your daily life, like washing dishes meditation, walking meditations. We teach all beginner classes. We start at level 0, as pretending like it's everybody's first class. Benefits of coming to yoga is reducing your anxiety, improving your focus, your flexibility, mental health. And so I teach Mondays and Thursdays at 7, and my friend Kian teaches on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock in the Buka, room 1420, and then every other Saturday at 11 o'clock in Brandt Hall.
Valpo Yoga is always looking for new members, is beginner-friendly, and yoga mats are provided for those who do not own one. Valpo Yoga's meeting schedule can be found on their page on the university's website.
And with bitterly cold temperatures making their return this week, a physical danger will also make its return. Frostbite is a real possibility this week as temperatures will dip down into the single digits. Frostbite occurs when bare skin is exposed to extremely cold temperatures for an extended period of time. There's a chance that frostbite could affect you if you have to walk any substantial distance to class. We sat down with meteorologist Sabrina Bates to learn how easily one can get frostbite.
What a lot of college students don't realize is that when you have temperatures at 0 degrees Fahrenheit and wind speeds up to 15 miles per hour, you get frostbite in just around 30 minutes.
With temperatures and wind speeds within that 30-minute threshold coming our way, there are ways to protect yourself from the cold. Wearing gloves, putting your hood up, and also wearing a hat are good ways to stay frostbite-free. You can call Valpo Transportation and have a bus come and pick you up and take you wherever you need to go on campus. There's also an app for the Valpo bus which allows you to request a stop at your location. Simply search the Crusader Transit Tracker in the App Store. Frostbite is definitely a concern this week as it's so cold outside. We have Storm Shield meteorologist Joie Bettenhausen in the studio today. Joie, how long are we going to see these cold temperatures?
Thank you, Blake. Well, it sure looks like these cold temperatures are going to last throughout the week. Here we're looking at the traffic cam on I-65, and you can already see the snowfall coming down on the highway. You can also see the snow here on the ground. Now let's take a look at how much snow we did see fall yesterday. So far, we're in between that 3 to 6 inch range of how much snow we have, and some other places have about 1 to 3 inches. Now, it currently is snowing, so we are watching the snow move into our area. Now, I will have a little bit later about how much we're going to get, but so far you can see, thankfully, some of the heavier bands are passing further south. Now, coming up, we'll just see how much we're going to get and how long the snow will last.
Awesome, thank you, Joy. President Trump delivered his first State of the Union address last week. We have the highlights of his speech coming up.
Plus, an Amtrak train collided with a freight train in South Carolina on Sunday. Find out what caused a passenger train to go into the head-on collision after the break.
In a world where entertainment is at risk, one man is given a mission, but he is about to face his biggest challenge yet. He will race against the clock and open doors to new possibilities that will save weekends as we know it.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for free movies.
Oh, I'll help you with that.
Just go to movies.valpo.edu. They have all the best movies, including The Hobbit and 22 Jump Street.
Whoa, it's that easy?
It's that easy.
Grab some popcorn, grab some buddies, and watch movies.valpo.edu's great selection.
Last Tuesday, President Trump delivered his first State of the Union address. In his address, President Trump presented a list of first-year accomplishments and laid out his plans for the year ahead. CNN's Karen Kaifa has highlights of the address.
Unemployment claims have hit a 45-year low.
President Trump highlighting the accomplishments of his first year in office, particularly the economy, while also looking forward, calling on Congress to work with him on plans for a massive infrastructure overhaul, promising Americans there's more to come.
Since the election, we have created 2.4 million new jobs, including 200,000 new jobs in manufacturing alone.
But the unifying words and outreach to the other side of the aisle were met with skepticism by many Democrats. Congressman Joe Kennedy of Massachusetts gave the official party response.
This administration isn't just targeting the laws that protect us. They're targeting the very idea that we are all worthy of protection.
Compromise will be needed if Congress and the White House want to avoid another government shutdown when the latest continuing resolution expires February 8th. Key to that debate, immigration.
The first pillar of our framework generously offers a path to citizenship for 1.8 million illegal immigrants who were brought here by their parents at a young age. That covers almost 3 times more people than the previous administration covered.
On Capitol Hill, I'm Karen Kaifa.
At least 2 people are dead and 116 were injured after an Amtrak and a freight train collided near Casey, South Carolina Sunday morning. According to reports, 8 crew members and 139 passengers were on board the Amtrak train traveling between New York and Miami. The track switch was in the wrong position, causing the Amtrak to go on the head-on course with the freight train. The lead engine and some of the Amtrak passenger cars derailed during a morning briefing. Authorities estimated around 5,000 gallons of fuel spilled as a result of the collision.
Emotions were running high in a Michigan courtroom Friday as former USA Gymnastics Michigan State University Dr. Larry Nassar was confirmed to be confronted by survivors of his sexual abuse, as well as a distraught father of 3 of his victims. CNN's Kristen Holmes details the dramatic moments of the proceedings.
Well, I'm going to have to get something.
Chaos erupting in a Michigan courtroom. Father of 3 daughters sexually abused by Larry Nassar attempting to attack the former doctor. During a sentencing hearing in Eaton County, Randall Margraves listened.
I just hope you live a long, slow life in prison.
As 2 of his 3 daughters gave impact statements against Nassar.
You no longer hold power over me or my thoughts.
Before making a statement and an emotional plea to the judge of his own.
Grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon.
The request denied.
You know that I can't do that. That's not how our legal system works.
The distraught father rushing forward. Tackled and arrested by security before reaching Nassar. After a brief recess, the judge addressing the court.
We cannot react by using physical violence.
And later, Margraves apologizing.
I came here in support of my daughters. I knew they were going to read a statement. I didn't know what all was in it. They would not let me see it ahead of time. And I look over here and Larry Nassar's shaking his head no, like it didn't happen. I lost control. I apologize 100 times.
Margraves was released without punishment. Larry Nassar was sentenced to 40 to 175 years in prison last week after more than 150 women said in court he had sexually abused them. I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
For the first time ever, the city of Philadelphia will host a parade honoring the Eagles as their Super Bowl champs. The Eagles pulled off an exciting victory Sunday night over the New England Patriots, winning 44-33. Eagles quarterback Nick Foles was named Super Bowl MVP. City officials confirmed that the parade will be held on Thursday around 11 a.m. The parade will begin at Broad and Pattison in South Philadelphia, then head north to the Art Museum. The city said additional details will be announced on Tuesday.
Coming up after the break, Joy Bettenhausen has your full forecast.
Plus, we have a breakdown of this past week's Crusader sports. Stick with us.
Valparaiso University, where passion meets purpose.
So the big story here is about the snow and how much we are going to see. Currently, we are looking at the I-65 traffic cam, and you can already see making it commute pretty messy across the area. Now, for the almanac here, we are sitting at a high of 11 degrees today, and we'll see a low about 8 tonight. Usually, we're right about 33 degrees for our average temperature, and if you look at our record temps, that 47 degrees set in 2005 isn't all that impressive, but still a lot warmer than what we've been seeing. Across the board here, we're at 10 in Chicago, 9 in Rockford, 11 in Moline, and 15 in Peoria. So we're pretty chilly across the board here, and we will remain that way throughout the rest of our week. So the big story here, the snow system. And as you can see, it's moving in towards our area. This southern band here, thankfully, it's missing us. Otherwise, we'd get a lot more snow here. So for our commute, it has been making it a bit messy outside, so please, when you are driving home from work or picking up the kids from school, make sure to take extra caution as it can be pretty dangerous out there. Now, we are under a winter weather advisory till midnight tonight, and portions even near South Bend could even see their advisory last until 2 a.m. Now, with that being said, we could see with areas getting 3 to 5 inches of snow or more, and with blustery winds at times, it could get a little hectic outside. So let's track the system here. About 8 p.m., we will see the heaviest part go through Valparaiso. Now that will last throughout the night tonight till about 10:30 to 11 o'clock at night. Once the snow moves out of our area, we will remain cloudy overnight into tomorrow morning. Now, we aren't done with the snow just yet. We do have another chance tomorrow night. Now this will be a little later, so nothing to worry about with the commute as much. But we will see snow move in our area around 10:30 coming in, and that will last all throughout the night tomorrow night. Now, if you have an early commute at about 5 a.m. or so, you could see some remnants of this second system come through our way. So please, again, make careful accommodations when you are traveling to or from work. Now, that snow will move out of our way, and by Wednesday afternoon, we will see those cloudy but clear skies. Now, when all this snowfall is said and done, we could see inches accumulating up to about 4 inches or more in Valparaiso, 3.7 in Gary, 3.9 in Moni. Now, some of these might differentiate between where you're from and about where you'll be at. So, Tonight we'll see a low of 4 degrees. Remember, we will see those snow showers coming in, but tomorrow we will be a little bit higher in temperature with 21 degrees. Again, watch out for those snow showers as we move on. Now heading towards our 7-day forecast. Again, remember, we're not clear from the snow throughout the whole week. We will see snow on Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday into Friday. Temperatures will be about the low to mid 20s, so definitely bundle up if you're going to head to class or anywhere else outside.
For sure, and with that snow, you said up to 4 inches possibly
Yes.
with the system? That's going to make it a messy walk.
No, it definitely will be, especially for commutes and driving to class. I know I live off campus, and it can be pretty messy out there.
It looks like there could be a sign or two of a bigger weekend storm. Have you seen anything on that?
Yeah, no, I was kind of looking at that a little bit, and you know, it's kind of hard to tell a week out, but it looks like it could make things, again, another messy weekend.
That's just wonderful. All right, thank you, Joy. After the break, we'll have a full breakdown of this past week's Crusader sports. Stick with us. This week wasn't the best for Crusader sports, so I'm here to give you all the nitty-gritty details. Let's start off with the Valpo men's basketball team. The Crusaders took on both Indiana State and Southern Illinois last week in a 50-50 win-loss week. The men first took on Indiana State at the Arc last Wednesday. After losing their last 5 games, the men's team was looking to snap the streak. After giving up the first 6 points of the game, Valpo went on a 12-3 run as well as a 7-0 run to take a 34-30 lead into halftime. After maintaining a narrow lead throughout the second half, sophomore John Kaiser managed to swing 2 free throws to make the final score 69-63. Once again, Bakari Evelyn led the team in scoring and Derek Smits led in rebounds, totaling 6 on the night. Pumped after their first win in 2 weeks, the Crusaders traveled to Southern Illinois on Saturday to take on the Salukis. The team traded runs early in the game, with Valpo and SIU taking scoring runs throughout the first half. Valpo briefly held a 19-12 lead before the Salukis went on an 11-0 run. Valpo responded with a 10-0 run before entering the locker rooms with a 31-25 lead. This lead would diminish slowly, however, over the second half as SIU managed to regain the lead, ultimately resulting in the final score of 65-59. The next game for the men's team will be this Wednesday at Evansville. The game will start at 7 p.m. The Valpo women's basketball team had 2 tough road games this week. Started off on Friday with the team facing Bradley. It was a tale of 2 halves for the women's team as they shot 18.2% in the first half, which resulted in them being down 35-14 at the break. Going into the third quarter, the team managed to cut the lead from 26 points to only 16, a feat which was helped by the marked improvement of the team's shooting, which was nearly 50% in the second half. Unfortunately, the point deficit was a little too much for the Crusaders to overcome, resulting in a final score of 69-58. The team then took on Illinois State 2 days later. Valpo put up a good defensive effort in the first quarter, holding the Redbirds to just 23.1% in shooting. It was a game at 24 apiece going into break. Scoring picked up as the game went on, with the Redbirds getting 14 of 14 in shots, helping to end the game with a final score of ISU 63, Valpo 55. The team will have one more road game before returning to the Arc on the 16th to face Southern Illinois. The women's tennis team was back in action this week as they took on both Butler and the University of Indianapolis in what would prove to be 2 unfortunate outings. The team traveled to Butler on Friday for what would turn out to be an unfortunate set of games. The Crusaders won in a 2-5 that day and would have to do a fast turnaround to face the University of Indianapolis the next day. Valpo managed to secure 3 victories on Saturday. However, it wasn't enough as UI took home 6 wins, resulting in the first Crusader Crusaders' second loss in a row. The team will look to rebound this Saturday when they travel to Ball State. All in all, it wasn't that great a week for Crusaders sports, but we did have some good football action with the Super Bowl going on.
What a game. It was intense to see those final minutes, Tom Brady and Nick Foles going at it, and a well-deserved win for the Eagles.
Definitely, it was hard fought, and I gotta say, once the game was over and done with, I was really quite pleased. It was a great turnout. All right, well, we'll have a look at your weather coming up, and that'll be after the break.
Well, guys, it's definitely going to be a snowy week for sure, with temperatures in the low to mid 20s. I know probably we will only see 2 days without snow this week. Look at that. Wednesday, you kind of get a little bit of break from that, but then it picks right back up Thursday through Friday with another couple snow chances. Thankfully, though, we can at least have a nice Sunday with partly cloudy skies. High temperatures, though, will be only 19 degrees, so another chilly and snowy week.
Yeah, it's a nice Sunday until you get to the evening commute and it's 5 degrees.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's going to be interesting.
Well, and at least the weather's finally made up its mind in terms of fluctuation, but it's in the wrong direction, it seems like.
Right.
All right, well, for Blake, Joy, and myself, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week on The Shield.